Hello YouTube. This is the Trivision NC-335PW 3 megapixels HD 1080p waterproof wireless home security camera system for iPhone, iPad, Android smartphone, PC, and Mac. What you see here is what's in the box. You have the camera stand, junction box for connecting the wires, the output wires, AC adapter, and Cat5 cable. Now the hard drive or the recording medium for this camera is going to be a micro HD card. You do not get this with the camera. This one is a 128 gigabyte. That's the maximum you can use, but you can use other sizes too. Now you also have a quick start guide, an owner's manual, and the installation CD for the software. You don't really need to put this on your PC or laptop. You can activate the phone with your, you can activate this camera with your iPhone or Android phone. We'll show you how. Now it says on the front of this box here that this is plug and play right here. So we're going to plug it in and see if that's true. This is your AC adapter, and I want to point out that you cannot plug this into a power strip. Cannot plug this into a power strip. It has to be plugged, or an extension cord. It has to be plugged into a wall-mounted permanent outlet. So I'm going to reach around and plug it in back here. And looks like the green light came on, so we can check now to see if this is working. There it is. Now it's on the iPhone too. iPhone, iPad. I'll cut this light off. I'm getting a reflection from that light up there. Now you can see it better. There it is. So it is truly plug and play. Now in the next section we're going to show you and explain whether or not this camera setup is going to be working wirelessly for you. Okay, we're back. Now in the last section we saw that the camera booted right up and presented on the iPhone and iPad wirelessly. And by the way, once you get it set up on your iPhone or iPad, you can access that video anywhere in the world from those devices. But just because it says it's wireless with this antenna here does not mean that's going to work well with your particular application. The reason why it works so well here is because my router is in the next room over from where this display is here. Before you mount this camera in its permanent location outside your house, you need to walk around and plug it into an outlet and see if it's going to work wirelessly from where you plan to permanently install it. I went up to a remote bedroom, a corner of a remote bedroom in my house, and the wireless signal dropped out. Sometimes I didn't get it at all. So I'm just going to go ahead and install it wired or semi-wired with some Cat5 cable, which plugs right in this outlet here of the camera. And this will go back to your router in a wired configuration, completely wired configuration, or you can use these Netgear power line adapters here. The way they work is you take one of these and you plug it into an outlet near where the camera is. You plug it in and then you attach this Cat5 cable and attach the other end to the security camera here. Plug this into the wall, and then the other one you take to your router and plug it into an outlet near your router, and then you take this piece of Cat5 cable and plug it into an Ethernet outlet on your router. And what happens is that the video signal from the camera travels through your internal wiring inside your walls back to your router, and that's where it's displayed, gets displayed on your iPad, iPhone, or laptop computer. The video actually goes to a website, and you're displaying that website wherever you have your iPhone. Now, there are, when they advertise these cameras, they always say that all you have to do is plug them in. But you can come up with a multitude of issues that you're going to have to deal with before it works in your particular situation. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about those issues in the next segment. Okay, we're back again. We're going to talk about the tools you're going to need and the equipment to either bring the wires in the house or connect them in a way that they plug into an outdoor electrical box. First, let's do the equipment. You're going to need an outdoor electrical box, and you're going to need one that will accommodate two outlets, one for the network adapters that I showed you, the Netgear network adapters, and one that will accommodate the AC adapter. And the reason for that is that this Netgear adapter pretty much takes up the space of the whole outlet. I mean, you can't get any other outlet in there. They have an outlet on the side, the top of this, that you can use with your other plug. But if you do that, the whole thing is not going to fit in this outdoor box cover. It's not going to fit in there. It's going to be too fat. So you're going to need a separate outlet for each. And even if you plugged it into the bottom outlet, it still cuts off part of the top outlet, and even a normal plug won't get in there because part of the space is cut off by the size of this Netgear outlet adapter. So you're going to need two of them. We're going to show you how to hook those up, and then you're going to need a waterproof, an outdoor electrical box cover, which is going to fit on top of this after we get it all together. That's what you're going to need for an outdoor setup, and that's what I'm going to do. And you're going to need, of course, house wiring. This is weatherproof wiring. You're going to need electrical tape. You're going to need a tape measure, and you're going to need electrical connectors and wire clips, either to attach to wood or concrete. Those are some of the tools and equipment you're going to need. If you're going to cut conduit or pipe to cover your wire, you're going to have a hacksaw. And then to caulk up those holes, you're going to need some caulking, so bugs and water won't get in. You're going to need a tube of caulking. And the tools you need are going to be pliers, wire cutters, needle nose pliers, screwdrivers, Phillips screwdriver, flat blade screwdriver, and things like that. Probably a pocket knife. I left that out to take the installation off the wires. Now, what we want to do now is talk a little bit about where you're going to mount the camera. You're going to also need a drill. I showed you that before. But in the next few sections, we're going to talk about where you mount the camera on the house. And you're going to need, for that, you're going to need a ladder, either a extension ladder or a step ladder. And you don't want to mount it too high, and you don't want to mount it too low where somebody can reach up and snatch it off the wall. So we're going to talk about the best places to mount the camera. And what I'm going to do in my particular situation is I'm going to mount it next to a spotlight, a floodlight, which is already installed, and I'm going to piggyback off of the current that's coming into that floodlight already, and I don't have to route any extra wires to that location because the wires are already there. I'm just going to piggyback off of them. So that's what we're going to go outside and we're going to look around and we're going to see where we can mount this camera and install an outdoor electrical box to plug the power cord in and the network adapter and protect all of this from the weather with an outdoor electrical box cover. Are you still with me, YouTube? Here you can see where I've added a electrical box so that I can piggyback off of the current that's already in an existing electrical box for an outdoor floodlight. The camera is going to be mounted on the front of the house around here, and it's going to focus on that door down there so I can see who's knocking on my door. Some people like to mount the cameras up in the overhang of the roof, but keep in mind when you do that, every time you need to get access to the camera, you're going to have to get up on a long ladder. If you have to change the SD card or wipe off the lens or reboot the camera. And if you don't own a long ladder, you're going to have to pay somebody to come out and put one up for you. You're talking about a fee of $50 to $100 each time they do that. And also, if the camera is up there on the overhang, you're going to be filming the tops of people's heads. I want to not only know if someone is at my front door, I want to be able to ID the person as well. If you are taping way down the street somewhere, it would make sense to put the camera up on the overhang perhaps, but close by you need it more at eye level. Some people like to actually put it in a second floor, outside of a second floor window. That way they can just reach out the window and bring the camera in the house when they have to do something to it. Okay, this is how the Netgear setup looks at the router end of the configuration. You can see the Netgear adapter in the wall plug and the Cat5 cable going from the Netgear device over to the router. Okay, the camera is attached to the house and is up and working. Remember, when you attach the camera to be in the wired format, you need to remove the antenna that comes with the camera. Otherwise, the two formats, wired and wireless, will try to compete with each other because they don't know what you want to do, and the camera might lock up. The next video images you will see will be the camera in use.